On Mzansi Legends, we honor those who have continued to make a great contribution to the development of the game of football in our country. They may have come from this country, they may have come from other parts of the world, but we really take our hats off and salute greatness. My name is Sibiya, and this is a very, very special show. In our studios, we are really humbled. We are really honored to be graced by the presence of the greatest man in South African football. He's a former player and now chairman of highly successful, I'm talking about three-time league champions, SuperSport United. In our studios, we welcome Khulu Sibiya. Chairman, thank you very much for your time. We appreciate your time. Welcome to Mzansi Legends.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Phumlani. It's a pleasure to be here and an honor indeed. Thank you very much indeed.
It is our honor. You walk into our studios tonight as the chairman of SuperSport United, but we have looked back at your soccer career. We have looked back at your youthful days. We're going to unpack all of that on this show tonight. You only have an hour. We may run out of time, but again, considering your hectic schedule and the fact that you have continuously said to me, no, Phumlani, legends, let the players, let the other people have it. You never really wanted to come out and sit here and be a legend, but thank you very much. You played football.
Indeed, yes, I played football. You're absolutely correct. I've resisted coming here, humbly so, not arrogantly, and because I felt there are people more deserving to be sitting where I'm sitting today. But after much persuasion from you, I subsequently relented. Football, yes, I played football all my life actually.
But where does Khulu Sibiya come from? Soweto?
I was born in Nigel, which is about 45 kilometers from Soweto. Grew up there, and then came over to Soweto, and then I never went back.
Then, life in Soweto, life in Mfulo, early years, going to school, briefly.
Very interesting, very fulfilling indeed, I must say. I really enjoyed growing up. In Mfulo, there was nothing else that we could do except to play football. And if you're a youngster and you're not engaged in football, there was nothing else you could do. And I enjoyed playing football. That is why I played for almost every team I could think of, jumping from one team to another, because football was the life. And that's how I grew up in Soweto, just playing football.
Challenges though, at a time where, people speak about the privileges and not this privilege and stuff like that, but basically our families, the structure then meant that, hand-to-mouth kind of living and scratching and trying to make something happen. How was it for you guys?
It was pretty tough, I must say. Pretty tough. In fact, I see my children are having it very nice, quite nice indeed. All the niceties that I see them enjoying, I never tasted them. I struggled. I struggled for a living. I struggled to make ends meet, just to have enough money to get into a bus and go to school. Struggled to have money for lunch. I struggled to have proper uniform, just school uniform, not swanky stuff. Just to have decent shoes, black shoes, grey trouser and a shirt, white shirt. I struggled. But you look back and you said it was worth the struggle, because I think struggle sometimes toughens you and it prepares you for a better future. And we struggled. And I think that's one of the reasons why one played football and took football even more seriously at that time, because that was your salvation there. Rather than to be caught in the streets, you'd end up doing all the wrong things. And football was the solution to take us out of mischief.
Our email address, psltv@supersport.co.za. Later on, of course, we'll also be able to open the lines and take your calls. But for now, we're taking your emails, psltv@supersport.co.za. Our very special guest is the chairman of SuperSport United, Khulu Sibiya. But let me tell you, like he says, he played football. He had a lot of friends. Do you know a guy called Black Cat who played football?
Oh, yes, absolutely. Who doesn't know Black Cat? But I actually played against him You know, blackhead, the two blackheads that you're talking about, there's a guy called Lawrence Fanyana Shiburi, who was blackhead. He was my goalkeeper.
Yes.
There's blackhead Kwele,
Yes.
who used to be a goalkeeper for Golden Arrows.
Shagazul.
Shagazulu, correct. I scored him. I scored against him. And Fanyana Shiburi, blackhead, was my goalkeeper. We grew up together in Mufule, actually.
It is amazing, you know, a gentleman like Fanyana, the wealth of knowledge that he has when it comes to football, you know, the amount of material that he has put together, which he still has in his house and still willing to share it with the youngsters. You wouldn't have known that growing up with him, though, that that's the path that he was going to take, because he became a top journalist.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, talking about Fanyana, Fanyana was actually an inspiration to me. It was a great inspiration.
Stop it there, because you talk about an inspiration. Here is the inspiration, Fanyana Shiburi.
He's a friend and a colleague. We've gone through all of those categories. First, as a friend, we grew up together, Mfulo. We were going to different schools. He was at Orlando West, I was at Orlando High. But we played for the same team, Orlando City Ramblers. Mazdlali Pola, he was always a forward, and I was a goalkeeper, either a goalkeeper or a defender, you know. But finally, ended up being a goalkeeper, and he has always been a striker in his life. Even when we played tennis football in the streets, he used to like scoring goals. He had a passion for scoring goals, and that, I think, actually determined the rest of his life, because he's a goal-driven person. When we played Orlando Pirates and we beat them 9-1, which record is still standing even now, and that Orlando Pirates team had players like Bochipa Mloyi, Saltiel Bomba Mzayoni, Hans Moses, Bernard Dancing Shoes Hadze. I'm not sure Ferruh Khan was not there in that match. But the goalkeeper at that time, Skehla, and then was substituted in the second half by Bongutu Yavuza that day. He was not informed. They played Umani Davis in the second half, but we still managed to score 5 goals already, you know, in the second half. And 4 of those goals were scored by Khulu. The others was Shugamutali 2. And then Ariel Khongwane scored a penalty, and then Douglas Beko scored the other one. He was very dangerous with his head, you know. In the 18 area, he ruled the 18 area. There were guys, the only way to control Khulu was to kick him to pieces. And one of the guys who used to do that was Paradise Sillo at Morocco Swallows. That guy used to kick Khulu. At any given time, he would kick him, because that was the only way to control him. When Rembas disintegrating the acrimonious disarray, he went to Pirates. From Pirates, he realized that he did not like to go to another team. He came into journalism. Journalism, he made a success of it. He became the editor. From a reporter, he became an editor. From an editor, what does he do? His timing also. He decides to get into management. In management, what does he do? He goes back into football. Directly, he takes over Super Sports and runs it. Where you can only see that the vision and the timing have actually structured this man's life. Very few of us are gifted in that. Timing, impeccable timing. Sibali, one message that I would like to leave you with is that to me, you are like the phoenix bird. You are the human epitome of that mysterious bird that always rises from the ashes. Very few men have been able to reinvent themselves in the manner that you have done over the years. Everything you have done, Sibali, has shown like a beacon on top of the mountain. We can only doff our heads for all the amazing and epoch-making achievements in your life. But heart is bad.
Fanyana.
Amazing. Oh, amazing. You know, these are some of the things that made me not to come to the studio because, I mean, to hear, I haven't seen him for years. I mean, these are the guys who, I mean, he's a great man. He's, like I said, he's an inspiration to me. I mean, he's one guy who's always come up with new things. You know, when they say keep good friends for you to be successful in life, they mean exactly that. I mean, keeping a good friend like Fanyana has actually made me to be successful. Because how I joined journalism, it's through looking at him and emulating him. And I actually ended up working with him for 6 solid years in the sports department. We're both soccer writers because he felt we have played this game. We understand it much better than people who just want to write about the game when they have not even kicked it. So he said, we can only speak authoritatively about this game if we go in there and make it happen. And it's through people like Fanyana. Indeed, I'm very humbled to hear him say all these things. I think the reverse should have been true.
He speaks passionately about the type of talent, you know, that was available even at City Ramblers, you know, at that particular time. Numerous players who may not have gone on to play professional football, you know, who may not have gone on to become, you know, journalists and editors and stuff like that. But it just shows you then, Khulu, the abundance of talent at the time.
Oh, absolutely. Oh, there's no doubt about that. I mean, you know, sometimes you look back and you said, was I born too early? I should have been born probably much later to enjoy the fruits of football. I mean, the game is talking about when we beat Orlando Pirates. I mean, that's one game when if the good talent scouts could have spotted some of us and say, hey, hold on, come over and sign you. And you have a better living thereafter. But sadly, though, those talent scouts were far in between. So, but anyway, but talent was in abundance. You're absolutely correct. There was talent.
There was talent in journalism too at that particular time in our country, not to say there isn't now, but it is nice to go down memory lane and reminisce and bring back all those guys who wrote passionately about the game of football, who were there when numerous teams were formed, when big games were being played in front of a packed stadium. I'm talking about the former editor of the World newspaper, Leslie Sihume.
I saw Khulu at the time. I knew he was playing football and he was working as a journalist because, as I say, most of the players at that time could not afford just to play football. They also had to work to earn a living. So he was one of those that to actually earn a living working as a newspaperman and playing on weekends. I'm delighted to see the progress that he has made, because coming from those days of amateur football to become the leader of one of the most successful clubs in the country shows you exactly where we come from. I spent a couple of years in Zambia, and one time I was speaking to President Kenneth Kaunda about what was happening there. He told me one thing, that they would rise up from the ashes and to make Zambia a great country through each one teach one. Now similarly here, whatever our achievements are, we should be an example to the nation as a whole of what can be achieved. And I think Super Sports United is a shining example of what can be achieved, and therefore for other clubs to follow suit on what they have done. And congratulations to Khulu Sibiya for what he has done. The nation is proud of him.
Another veteran.
What a doyen. I mean, boy, you see, it really brings memories, this show of yours. I remember, many people don't know this, that actually Leslie Sihume was behind the birth of Kaizer Chiefs. And at that time, I used to play for Orlando City Ramblers. And I used to meet him quite a lot, more often. And not only did we talk about football, but we talked about life in general, and we talked about journalism. And these are some of the people who have really influenced me to think straight, to think beyond football, to think what is out there for each and every one of us to go and achieve it. So I'm humbled indeed to hear people like Prales Suhume. It's such a pleasure to see him still healthy and thinking straight.
He's very much healthy, and
Yeah.
you know, like I'm saying, he's got so much knowledge, because like you talk about the formation of Kaizer Chiefs, he's the man who'll tell you how the name came about, how the slogan
Absolutely.
came about, you know, the colors, you know, the transport, the type of transport that they were using. But again, in terms of the generation then, because now you're mixing with Fanyana has already gone into journalism. There's still guys there like, you know, Percy Koboza, there's still John Kwelane, you know, and you join that club, those friends, and you're hanging out in quite a few places in Soweto that were joints, that were nice, you know, where people would meet.
Oh, you want me to talk about those joints? Oh, yeah, quite a number of them. Oh, we used to meet. We used to meet, and that's where we actually, you grow. They would make you grow overnight because you hear things that you have never heard before. And if you're sitting at home, you'd never even grow up. And it was actually very nice to share ideas and with those people. We used to go to all these places, the Rowenas of this world, and everywhere. Oh yes.
Nice club, great teammates to have, great friends to have too at that time. Now, I was at a photo earlier on, and Khulu Sibiya is supposed to be there, but let's take a look at this picture and see if you are at home, you're going to work it out if he is there, if he is not there, and I'm not too sure, but he's supposed to be part of this team as a player. You've already heard from Fayane Shiburi, he was a big, tall striker, so just look a couple of seconds and see if you can work it out. And then when we come back from the break, we're going to find out, we'll be reading some of your emails and see what number do you think Khulu Sibiya is wearing in that particular photo. We're watching Mzansi Legends right here on your World of Champions. Stay with us. Welcome back. You're watching Mzansi Legends on your World of Champions. I am Phumlani Msibi. Our very special guest is the chairman of SuperSport United, Khulu Sibiya. Straight to your emails. This one says, greetings. How wonderful that you'd celebrate a legend, Mr. Khulu Sibiya, whilst they're still alive. You are a true inspiration, and I'm fortunate to have known you all my life. The email comes from Welcome. Now, Khulu, just quickly, looking at the movement of the players then at that particular time from Orlando City Ramblers, you join an Orlando Pirates team. Again, that is not lacking in terms of talent. You know, what sort of ambition do you have joining Pirates?
Well, you ask any youngster growing up, even during that time, and strange, it's still pertaining even now. You have not achieved anything in football if you have not played for Orlando Pirates. That used to be the saying. So it's everybody's, every youngster's, ambition. But having played there, you also realize that maybe I could still go further and go and play somewhere else. And and to me, it was quite simple. It was a simple decision because I was replaced by one Joe Mosono. I can't forget that incident. We were in Bloemfontein, and I didn't have a best game that day. You as a player, you have your ons and your offs, and I was replaced. And Joe Mosono was a young man of 17, I think, that time, and he never looked back. He played on forever. And I felt there is no way I will take over this jersey again. So I moved on.
That's what I was saying in terms of the availability of talent, because although maybe you arrive at a time when guys like Russia and them aren't playing, but you talk to Pirates people, they'll tell you about Shaful Mokopana, they'll tell you about a guy like McDonald's Kosana Re, the same Ephraim Sono, he's young, he's got the arrogance, he's got the talent too, you know, and people speak about Chipo Mloyi. The challenges, though, of playing for Orlando Pirates in terms of the fans, because they would have expected nothing but success all the time.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, you knew when you start putting that black and white jersey, you knew what was in demand. I mean, there was a lot at stake for you. You had to give 100% performance. So yes, there was a lot of demand. And there was a lot of good talent as well. So if you get a jersey, you keep it forever. And the day you miss out on it, the next person who's going to wear that jersey is going to keep it forever. So it was, call it a dog eat dog kind of situation.
Well, you scored goals, numerous goals. Fanyana says when they congratulated you, sometimes you'd say, no, it's an easy goal. Here is another man who would have been around at that particular time, sitting in the stands, watching a young Khulu Sibiya turning on the magic for Orlando Pirates. He's the former Bafana coach, Umshengu Stanley Skrima Shabalala.
Khulu Sibiya, Khulu Brains Sibiya. If you say Brains to him, he'll know who you're talking about. Brains Sibiya was Khulu. Khulu's nickname. Khulu played with players like Pro Khulwani, Alfred Rashia Jacobs. He played with Pro Padi, one of the best players then. I remember seeing Khulu playing at Orlando Stadium when he scored a beautiful goal. I just forgot what team was it that they were playing with, but the cheers that I got, that I had from the Orlando Pirate supporters, because we were just about to come in the stadium, and we were sitting at the balcony there when Khulu scored that goal. One of the best goals that I've seen being scored by Khulu. But I was surprised to have find out that Khulu was now an editor of a big Sunday paper, City Press. And there it was again. After that, I heard that Khulu is now the chairman of Supersport. And I'm not surprised to see Supersport doing so well, because the leader is Khulu, and Khulu knows really the problems of footballers, he knows the problems of coaches, and he knows that what players must get maybe in terms of salaries, because in those days there were no signing on fees. So I don't know how he got it right, because I mean he never got a signing on fee while he was playing. He's a chairman of Supersport, and Supersport is one of the best teams in the league today in South Africa. I mean, if a team wins, it's not even back-to-back. I don't know what you call it, because they've won the league more than 3 times. And I'm not surprised, because Khulu, if you talk to him, he's one of the guys who's down to earth. You know, he listens, and funnily enough, he understands the game. Khulu, from me, Skrima Chabalala, the ex-Bafana coach, it really gives me a great pleasure to see that you are still involved, coming back from the difficult times where there were no facilities, no money in football, just playing it for passion, and just in the eve of hosting the World Cup, and that we are still involved in football, having led Supersport to many great victories, and the team being the 3-time league champions, Gavin Hunt being the coach, and you giving the guidance as a leader, the chairman. All I can say to you from me is that may God bless you, Khulu, and keep up the good work.
Oh, So nice to hear that, eh? I mean, it's amazing. He was great himself as a footballer. I mean, he talks about passion. I still want to see one person who had more passion about the game than Screamer himself. He was very passionate about football. I mean, ask anybody. As a result, in fact, I'm surprised he can say such nice things about me. Because at one stage, when Peter was the coach, I wanted him to come and assist and be a manager or doing whatever he can do, impart his knowledge within Supersport. I invited him to several games, and he declined. And he has to say such nice, beautiful things about me. No, but I'm happy and I'm humbled to hear Screamer talk like this. You know, coming from a very successful person like him. Not only as a footballer, but also as a coach, and also as a businessman, a very successful businessman. So he's an all-rounder. He's rounded up. So you know, when people such as him say the good things that they are saying, it's humbling indeed.
Our email address is psltv@supersport.co.za. We're continuing to take your emails. We've opened up the telephone lines to 089-110-3545. Call us now and talk to the legendary Khulu Sibiya. The fact that you played football, do you really think it helps you now as an administrator?
Oh, most certainly. You know, it reminds me of what my father used to say. To whoever cared to listen, that a healthy body always produces a healthy mind. And he used to drum it on us. And he said, listen, get involved in any sporting code that you can, and you'll be pleasantly surprised what will happen to you in future in terms of whatever you want to do, be it business, be it anything in life. It will shape you because you have a healthy body. And a healthy body will always produce a healthy mind. So having played football, I think it has prepared me to be a leader in business, to be a leader in all other various spheres that I have found myself in. It's all through football.
To go to school, to go out and work as a journalist, what sort of challenges did you face going out to work, going out on the beat? Because I don't think it was easy to enter into journalism. You know, you had to start right at the bottom.
Oh, you remind me of a very difficult period in my life. I remember I joined journalism in 1975. And the reason for me joining journalism, and it was through people like Fanyana Shipuri, who said, listen, why don't you come and write authoritatively about something that you understand better? But it was through those efforts. But as soon as you got in there, you realize that it is not as easy as it looks from outside. There were many challenges, numerous. One had to start studying, read, and get mentorship, get coaching, and all of those things had to come into play. And going out to get stories, because you also had to leave just writing about the game itself. You had to look beyond the game. I.e., for instance, I mean, I'll tell you, Orlando Pirates at one stage, there was a lot of infighting that was going on there. And you had to look beyond the playing of the players, what was going on beyond that sort of thing. That is endangering yourself. They say, you think you know better. You want to expose us. All of those things. Controversies. But I think it was worth all the while.
Worth all the while, worth all the trouble too. I don't have sufficient words to define and describe to you how great Khulu Sibiya is or has been or continues to be as the chairman of SuperSport United. So what we did is we took our cameras to SuperSport United. We met a gentleman by the name of Thomas Chinchamadikhache. We also met another fine gentleman, Stanley Matthews. Let's listen to what they have to say.
Khulu Sibiya is the man behind my involvement with SuperSport United. I first came into contact with him in the early '94 when I was approached by Ingel Singh, who was still part of SuperSport. He's the one who approached me and he said, we want you to come and play for SuperSport United. And I got a call from Mr. Sibiya, said, you feel comfortable? This is a club for the future. You will see me later when you sign the contract with SuperSport.
It's been a pleasure and a privilege to have Khulu as chairman. I've worked with him for 10 years now as the head of the management aspect of the club, with him heading up the board. And we've had 3 coaches in that time, being Bruce Robillard, Pitso Mosamani and Gavin Hunt. And I think that Khulu's shown a consistency throughout that 10 years that has enabled the club to finish in the top 8 10 years in a row, which is a record in South African soccer. And to achieve the success that we have now. People look at the 3 league titles in a row and think that it was a flash in the pan, but it was a long time building, and it's a credit to the chairman and his vision and the beautiful balance that he's had within the football club. He's had a fantastic balance between strategic intervention and non-interference, and that's something that's very rare in South African football.
He gave me the plan of what SuperSport is all about, what the future holds, and my involvement was not just taking me as a soccer player. He wanted to see me playing a bigger role after my playing career. I've never ever come across a situation where we lost a game as a player or as a coach, then he jumps into the change room, which normally happens in South Africa. And Mr. Sibiya has been cool, level-headed all the time, and he's always stuck behind us. I remember there was a situation as well during Pitso's days, early days, young coach under pressure. Mr. Sibiya was getting phone calls from other coaches to say, listen, we're ready to take over from Pitso because he's struggling. But you know what? He called Pitso and myself to the office and said, listen, I'm behind you and I know what I've invested in you.
And I think what impressed me initially straight up front with Khulu is he's always had a sense of calm, and there was no panic. There was a sense of purpose. And I think through possibly 3 very critical junctures in the club's life, the appointment of Pitso first as caretaker coach and then full-time coach, and then possibly a 3-year period we had when Pitso was seconded to the national team and basically had 2 jobs, one helping the national team and one heading up the club, which was a very difficult time. And in that transitionary period from Pitso to Gavin, Khulu showed great leadership, a great sense of calm and purpose, and very deliberate and calming interventions, which I think made a big difference in how we reacted in each of those situations, to come out of the Bruce Robillard era and find a measure of success with Pitso and have a very good cup run. And Khulu came out of that, and with the appointment of Gavin, set his stall and his vision out straight away and said, we want the league title, which blew a lot of people right out the water. We had only had a reputation as being, cup kings. So for Khulu to suddenly put down the marker and say, I want to win the league title, was a little bit of a jolt to everybody in the system. But I think it bears testimony to his belief and his vision that we could do it, and not just do it once or twice, but make history with a hat-trick.
Khulu, to me, you've been a pillar of strength. You remember during the difficult times when the club was not doing well, coming to your office, holding Roy Matthews to say, please, give him time, things will come right. You were there. You never turned your back. Then I brought another coach to you, Pitso Mosamani, who had no coaching experience. And you kept on saying, but Thomas, you can't deal like this. We've got a board. But I said, you are the chairman of the club. Please, I believe this man can add value to this club. And you said, please wait for me. Let me go and consult with my board. Today, Pitso Mosamani's way is, you played a pivotal role by believing in somebody who didn't have an experience. You promised me when I joined this club that you didn't want me as a soccer player only. You wanted me to play a role even after football. I'm an assistant coach who's been successful with the people that I've worked with, but through your trust, belief, and your support. I know it's been very difficult, it's been tough for you, You've lost your son. It's not been easy, but through God's will, I believe that God will answer all your prayers. Your club, SuperSport United, it's up there, and it's because of your support or your willingness to support them all the way. I say thank you.
Khulu, it's been a pleasure and a privilege working with you for 10 years. I've learned a lot from you about leadership, about being bold and having a vision and sticking with it, about overcoming personal difficulties in one's life, which, if one's fair, in the last couple of years you've had tremendous personal challenges in your family life. You've managed that with dignity, and you've managed it as a leader of a club that's laid down something in history, and I'm certainly proud to have worked for you and to have you as my chairman, and I wish you every success in the future.
You make me old. No, I mean, this is fantastic. You know, it means you having listened to Thomas and to Stan, I mean, these two people have been with this club for so long. I mean, Thomas since its inception, Stan 10 years now. This goes to show that we are one big happy family. I mean, it's very clear. We do not work as employer-employee. We one big happy family. We all know that we're pulling together. We're working as a team here. And they talk about my calmness, my non-interference and what have you. Because I believe when somebody is employed to do something, why should you be going behind that person? If you have employed a coach, for crying out loud, you wait until he delivers. And if he doesn't deliver, you ask the reasons. Why are you unable to deliver? Can I assist? You don't quickly say, you fired, next. You fired, next. You don't do that. And I think that's the secret and the success of this club, basically. Because I think I don't get into the dressing room to go and make noise. In fact, whenever I get into the dressing room, I come in quietly, Nicodemously, until I'm invited, sometimes, by the coach. The chairman is here. Chairman, do you want to say something? And because I know when to talk to the coach at a given point in time, when to talk to the players, when to talk to Thomas Madekhache, no spectacular about it. And I think that's the secret of the success of this club.
The secret of the success is also taking calls on Mzansi Legends. Sibali wants to talk to the chairman. He's in Cosmos City. Thank you very much for patiently holding on, Sibali. Welcome to Mzansi Legends.
Hi, how are you?
We are very fine. The chairman is here.
Yes. Chairman, how are you?
I'm very well, thank you, Baba. How are you?
I'm fine. It's an honor to be speaking to you today. I'm a very staunch SuperSport supporter. Yeah, and I just want to say I thank you for the great leadership you are instilling in the team and to leading us into our third title in a row. What I would like to say, you have created a nice vibe at SuperSport. We as supporters, we like the atmosphere at SuperSport. I must tell you, I don't miss SuperSport games. I attend all the games. I was in Durban this weekend as well when we were beaten 3-1. But anyway, we are the league champions. What I'd like to say, I'm saying, Chairman, keep up the good work. We supporters, we won't let it down. I hope next year we'll be going for a fourth one. And I would like to congratulate the players and the coaches and the technical staff for a good job.
Thank you very much,
Chairman. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Sibali in Cosmos City. Now, okay, Sibali has put us through for us now to talk about the success of SuperSport United. I always call them a team that, used to fight relegation, an unfashionable team, a team that no one really took notice of. But like Stan Matthews says, when you came out and said, I want to win the league title, what did you have in mind?
You must remember, Pumlani, Pitso had had made us the cup specialists. I mean, Pizzo was very successful with cups. I mean, I think he went to 5, if not 6 cup finals.
We won 2.
And we won 2. I mean, that was great. That was great, actually. It was wonderful. But should we always look at cups? Because, I mean, we had to look at something that is much bigger than cups. And the league, you get remembered for a long time if you have won a league. And I wanted that. And we interviewed something like 8 to 10 coaches. And when we finally settled for Gavin Hunt, I actually asked him a question. Are you capable of winning us a league? And please, if you are incapable of doing so, say so now, because that's what I want. And he gave me a promise that, give me a chance, I'll win the league. I didn't give any time frames, but it was like urgent. It was like yesterday. I want us to win the league. And Gavin has been winning me the league ever since he joined this club. Sometimes, you know, you get your when you make your demands, you get your returns in a very nice way. I'm quite happy.
Talking about happiness, this team then, you know, in what people call the shift of power in terms of the balance in the history of football in this country, you beat now, you know, rivals, Mamelodi Sundowns, you know, you're beating, established teams like Kaizer Chiefs, Orlando Pirates as well. You know, you're beginning to go in them and get the points and get the results against these teams to show that your team, SuperSport United, is then headed in the correct direction.
You see, it's a long-term planning. We didn't expect miracles to happen at SuperSport. I for one, I know, because I've played this game, and I know it's not a game of coming in, creating miracles, and boom, the results. Such results actually never last too long. But it's a long-term planning, which I think we have done together with the coach, together with the technical team. And back to what I said earlier on, consistency comes because there's stability in the team. People, they are not cagey or edgy that I may lose my job tomorrow. I have to deliver, otherwise I'm losing my job. No. That's not how we operate here. Stay with us. This is home. Make the best out of it. And that's how success comes in. But the minute you start putting undue pressure on somebody and say, deliver now, or else you know you're out, then you won't have results, the results that you're looking for.
That's the success story, though, of SuperSport United. It's a team that, you know, for quite a long time, you know, was like very close to relegation, you know, avoid relegation, finish in a respectable position. You know, the days of Ronald, Chico, Lawrence, and numerous other players.
Correct.
There were quite a few challenges in terms of running the team when it came to a time when Pitso had to leave, go to Bafana. Do you really release him? I mean, you are almost the person who discovered Pitso and launched his career.
Yeah, that was a difficult period in my life at SuperSport when I had to part with a man who's actually contributed so much to the club, and he had to go. It was not easy. I mean, it was really not easy. Pitso can tell you himself, and Thomas had to intervene as well, and many other people, including Imtiaz, including Stan Matthews, and everybody who's involved with the club had to intervene and say, hey, let sanity prevail here. But it was difficult. But, you know, like they say, it was good for Pitso, for his career. A beautiful career move. And you can't stop somebody who's looking at a brighter future. We actually encourage him. But it's difficult to replace that person. So that is why I'm a strong believer, Pumlani, of what makes a company a good company. It's its people. A company can never be a good company because it produces this technology, this and that and that and that. Who does that? It's the people. So similarly, the players are the people, and the people who run the team. I have great respect for those people.
Let's go to the east of Johannesburg and welcome West. He is in Bedfordview. Welcome to Mzansi Legends.
Hello, how are you doing?
We are fine. Thank you very much, West.
I'm fine, man. Yeah, I just want to say hi to Mr. Sibiya.
Hello, hi, West.
I'm fine. You know, I never knew that you used to play soccer before. And I think your story is very motivating for people like me. But there's one challenge that I want to put to all the guys, especially the ex-soccer players, and Mr. Sibiya, especially with regard to rural development. What is SuperSport plan with regard to soccer and unearthing talent from rural areas? Thanks. Baby?
Hello, West. You still there?
TV.
Seems like something's just happened in the house, but he's talking about football, rural development, and what can be done or what is being done to try and develop a talent.
That's the sole responsibility of the South African Football Association. That's their duty. They are an amateur body. They are supposed to cover the nook and cranny of this country. They should actually go to every city, every rural area, discover, build this. That's their duty. Otherwise, I mean, they have no reason not to be doing what they should be doing.
Let's welcome yet another caller on the line. It's Teboho. He is in Pretoria. Welcome, Teboho, to Mzansi Legends. Hello.
Hi, good morning, good evening. How are you guys?
Good evening to you, Tebza.
Hi.
We are good. Hi, Chairman.
Hi, Tebza.
How are you doing?
Very well, thank you. How are you?
Good. I'm okay. I just want to thank you for creating a great team like Super Sports United. Basically, I always attend your matches, especially at Super Stadium. It's like going to church, especially when sitting at a grandstand there, listening to the bands playing, looking at the vibe, and watching the guys do their thing, especially in the middle of the park there. So keep the good work going, keep the church spirit going, because they sing good songs, they play the bands, the flutes, and all the stuff, and it's always like a revival there. And the guys in the pitch, they never disappoint as well. So keep up the good job. The club is run professionally. Thomas is a good man. Keep him for many, many years to come, and let him stay there. Don't lose him as well. Thank you, Dan.
Thank you.
It's Teboho. He's in Pretoria. Great call coming from Teboho. We're running out of time very quickly, but just before we go, Mr. Sibiya, our Legends team has prepared something really, really special for you. And I'm not even going to introduce the two people who are going to speak right now, but I'm going to request the chairman to take a look at this.
We were always raised to believe that, you know, you earn your stripes in life, you do well, you support your family. So my dad always had this analogy of a fist, saying, you know, it's his 3 kids, his wife and himself, make a fist, and, you know, as long as we keep ourselves, you know, tight like that, you know, supporting each other, nothing can go wrong.
In most cases when people approach me, they say, how do you handle your father because he's strict to us? He's not approachable to them. And I said, no, you know, it's easy. If you come with a point which is relevant, he'll respond to that.
He has got a huge, huge admiration, a huge passion for football in this country. And he's never deterred. It's never been a money thing. It's always a focus of, you know, let's take these young talents and let's groom them. So even at Pretoria, when it changed to Super Sports, it was early days, you know, kind of backwards and forwards between Premiership. And I think now that, you know, the success has come forth, and you're rightfully saying there were a lot of people that contributed to it, but I think his primary goal was always, you know, satisfy each and every individual within this bigger team. And let's take it there. So I think his vision was there. I'm not sure if he ever dreamt of 3 times in a row, but certainly I am not surprised at all that he's taken it to this level.
If you understand my name is Bewise, I need to look after my dad. He always called me a lucky charm. That's why he always dragged me to the field. And we always tell him that he mustn't come to the field because SuperSport loses. he stresses too much. At some stage, I thought stroke will be knocking down and in our doorstep, but he's been there.
Hi, Dad. First of all, congratulations. I remember calling you on the night when you took the league 3 times in a row. You were ecstatic, you were happy, but more than anything, I look back at a father who was constantly supportive, always loving, always pushing me to the limits, and without all of that push and all of that striving to be excellent in whatever I did, I wouldn't be where I am. And I think more largely, the group of people that you surround yourself with, the team of Super Sports United, would not be where they are. I remember growing up, I loved sports. You supported all my games. I was the other tomboy, being being the only girl at home. You always constantly pushed me to say, Wile, you must be a lady, but you strive to be the best. And when I chose sports like cricket in primary school, like netball and hockey in high school, trying even tennis that I was really bad at, you always encouraged, and for that I thank you. I think you are a true South African legend, and I'm so happy and proud of you, and more than anything, proud to be associated with you and being your daughter. So from me to you, I say congratulations, I say I love you, and I say keep up the good job. I'm not sure about 4 times in a row, but you know what, when we started the season this year, you didn't know it was 3 times in a row. So I say go for it. To you, Mr. KB Sibiya, Khulu Sibiya, my dad, congratulations, I salute you.
Baba, Peggy, Yise, I was meant to look after you, but it's vice versa. We thank you very much for being a great father. You've been there for us, and even the time when things were bad, you've been there, being a strength and being a pillar of the Sibiya family. I think also we give tribute to my younger brother, Sizwe. I know that you've been in pain for the last 2 years when we lost my younger brother, Sizwe Sibiya. But you've been there for a family, you've been there for SuperSport. And I hope wherever he is, may he rest in peace. And I know that he was your favorite son. I've been naughty, but he's been there. But I think he's proud of you. We are all proud of you, Dad, on behalf of the Sibiyas. For the next 3 years, we expect you that you bring that trophy again at home. Whenever you win the trophy, we benefit because of your smile, of your health. Your sense of humor comes back. Money-wise, I don't know, but yes, I'm looking forward to this. And all the best. We hope that many more years you'll bring that trophy.
They talk too much. Yeah, touchy, eh?
There is a couple of emails. This one comes from Tabos Kosana. He says, Babu Sibiya, I'm so impressed with your achievements. You belonged to the generation that believed that the pen was better than the sword. It's so good to see education being mixed with sports. Sometimes you wonder why your team has good discipline. It's the man behind, says Tabos Kosana. Final email that I'd like to read comes from Sibusi. So he says, a true leader, mentor, and a great motivator indeed. All of the best. Khulu Sibiya. With those words from Sibusiso, I'd like to take this opportunity from the whole team of Mzansi Legends to say we're really humbled from the bottom of our hearts. We respect you. We love you, Babu Sibiya. You're our mentor. You're our hero. Thank you very much again for making time to come out to Mzansi Legends. You are a true legend of the soul. Thank you, Babu Sibiya.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I never thought tears could come so easily in my ears, in my eyes. But it's all because of this show. I think you've done a wonderful job here. You really take the best out of some of us. Thank you. Keep up the good work.
You've been watching Mzansi Legends right here on your World of Champions. I am Phumlani Msibi. Bye-bye.